Greetings everyone, my name is Greg. This video is a diabolical little parable of Jesus that really shows how absolutely evil Jesus was and how morally bankrupt someone must be to think this is a good story, let alone something that any sane, freedom-loving person would enjoy actually witnessing. This is from Matthew chapter 22, verses 2 through 14. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them which were bidden to the wedding, but they would not come. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, Tell them which are bidden, Behold, I have prepared my dinner, my oxen and my fatlings are killed, all things are ready, come unto the marriage. But they made light of it, and went their ways, one to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants, and entreated them spitefully, and slew them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth armies, and destroyed those murderers, and burnt up their city. Then saith unto his servants, The wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go therefore into the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid them to the marriage. So those servants went out unto the highways, and gathered as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there was a man that had not a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to his servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen. Like I said, this is a diabolical love story. Now I'm going to break it down for you. At the beginning of this, what you have is an arranged marriage. What Christian or person that is freedom-loving would actually want to be involved in an arranged marriage? But regarding the aspect of the ones that were first invited, it is saying a great deal about what did they know about this king, that when they were invited to this wedding, that they made light of it and didn't want to go. Obviously, they had some insight into the behaviors of this king. Maybe they didn't have a wedding garment, and they knew how capricious and much of a prick this king was, so they were deciding, no, we're not going. We're not interested. The aspect of them killing his servants, this reminds me of the phrase, I don't know if this is where it came from, but it fits, don't kill the messenger type of thing. It might be. Don't know, can't say. But that would be, in a sense, my moral to that part of it is one of basically don't kill the messenger. The thing is, the king becomes a dick downright when he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. That's going way overboard. I mean, talk about extreme. It is not about showing kindness or love or mercy or a benevolence, but rather an absolute malevolence. Because while you can say them killing the messenger, okay, fine. That wasn't a good thing to do. But as I heard an aunt of mine say when I was a kid, two wrongs don't make a right. The God or the king doesn't show where he's better than them by behaving worse than them. But then he says about going out and find as many as you can. And there is a statement in there of And the servants went out into the highways and gathered together as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. At no point in there, in the instructions they were given, were they told, only get those that have a wedding garment. No criteria of dress or dress code was mentioned. But why was no dress code mentioned? The king was desperate. He had no one to come to his wedding. And he had all this food ready and so forth. So he wanted to have guests at this wedding. And when there were plenty of guests, then this king gets picky. And he starts looking to find fault. And he finds an unfortunate fellow that isn't dressed as he would want, even though he gave no indication beforehand that he had a dress code. And he says to them about bind him hand and foot and cast him into outer darkness. And many are called, but few are chosen. That is absolutely sick. If you're the one that is hard up for guests, to turn around and be many are called, few are chosen. It's a snobbish, sadistic behavior that has me just baffled, dumbfounded. The aspect of being speechless, hearing this, it can render you speechless because there's a certain level of stupidity that when you encounter it, it's one of, what the fuck do you say? This is so damn dumb. The absolute kicker with this sadistic little story is the fact that what this king is singling this person out for is not were they good or bad, but entirely what are they wearing. And I recognize some Christians would want to try and read into it and make it into saying something that is not being said. The thing is, you can't do that. All we have to go by in this diabolical little parable is what is there. And there is not word one about the person that doesn't have the correct garment being wicked or bad. For all we know, it could be a very good person that just so happened to not be wearing the right clothing. But this type of thing is the idea of heaven. And for a Christian to embrace this, if you are a Christian and you embrace this, have you bumped your head? Would you actually enjoy being in a society where you have this king that is so schizophrenic? It makes no sense. You would be walking on eggshells forever. It really renders, for me, why the fuck would anybody want to be around such a king? And it makes sense looking at the end of the story and how it turns out, why the ones at the beginning of the story said, screw you, we're not coming. But this is something that Christians look at and be, yes, I would be chosen. It's a snobbish little, I'm so special bit of bullshit when there's no evidence that they would be one that's chosen. In fact, there is nothing saying that they wouldn't be the one that this king would look at and say, get away from me, bind him hand and foot. For many are called, few are chosen. You're screwed. The idea, well, they have faith. Well, faith doesn't mean a tinker's dam. If at the end of the day, you're going to be screwed over. You can have all the faith you want, but if the bottom line is you're going to be fucked, your faith didn't mean a damn. It renders the question in my mind, why the hell would anybody embrace this? Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Later, people.